Today is September 2nd, 2024, so it's time for another monthly update video in which I'll talk about what went on in August and what we have coming up in this month of September. I always like to begin with three big things, and one of these is really, really big, and it's namely that we are going to be moving pretty soon, quite officially. By the end of the month, we are going to be in a new apartment building. So that's the first big thing. Second big thing is another move. We are going to be getting an office as well, so that chalkboard has got to go there, all of the books, all sorts of other stuff, and I'll talk about that a little bit more as well. And then the third big thing is actually coming up in October, but you're going to see announcements for it coming out. So Stoicon, the big international Stoicism conference, is online again this year. And I'm one of the co-organizers. I'm also going to be emceeing it as well. So lots and lots of information should be coming out about that fairly soon. So those are the three big things. Let's talk now about August. So quite a few things happening in August. We actually didn't get to all of the events that we had originally planned to do, but it's in part because of all of this moving preparation. I've been spending a ton of time boxing things up and putting them into the back and the central component, what a compartment, whatever you want to call it, of our Subaru Outback, and driving it over to a storage facility, unpacking it there, putting it on a cart, taking it to a storage locker. Some of you may have seen some of the pictures of it slowly filling up in social media. So that's been taking a lot of my time. I did do the AMA, as I do every month, and we did another live event as well, which is Sadler storytelling. We did Philip K. Dick's Human Is, the great short story about somebody who's not human, but in some ways is more human than the guy whose body he takes over. We also had a local event, Philosophers in the Midst of History, and in that one we focused on Immanuel Kant. You can see the video for it. Worlds of Speculative Fiction, we did some more of Terry Pratchett's Discworld novels, in this case 5 of them that focus on death and death's family. We also had a classic metal class, that's me and Scott Terulli, and we focused on an issue that he really wanted to address, which I think has some real legs, the ethics of doing paid meet and greets before after shows for bands. Some of them charge a lot of money to spend just a little bit of time with them. So is it ethical? Isn't it? And what else? So we started the semester, the academic semester, in August. I've got 4 classes this term because Marquette contacted me about mid-August about teaching 2 classes for them. They call it Foundations in Philosophy, but it's really an intro to philosophy class. So I'm on campus 2 days a week teaching those classes to mostly freshmen. I also have an upper level humanities class with Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design focused on Ursula K. Le Guin's Earthsea books and short stories. And I've got a junior level writing class, writing for professionals. It's actually called the Creative Professional in Context, but I'm turning it into a professional writing class for my ed students as well. And we started the Friedrich Nietzsche Genealogy of Morals class. We kicked that off just this weekend, and it went quite well, the first class session. That's a 6-week online class in my Study with Sadler Academy. And if you missed out on that, well, we're going to do it again next year, so people have plenty of possibilities of getting in on that. Moving, as I mentioned, I've been spending a lot of time boxing things up, especially books. We've got a ton of those, and carting them over. But I also had another move that I needed to do as well, and that was for my oldest child, Kat, who was in a sublet, and it took about a day or so, but we got everything from the sublet to the new apartment. Everything is great with that. We even, not that day because we were both pushed, but we got to take a walk together in the pretty massive park that goes all the way down to the Milwaukee River. That's just a couple blocks from their place. So that was good. I've been doing a good bit of volunteering with Almost Home. I think a lot of people were gone over the summer, so I didn't take over every single possible shift, but I stepped up quite a bit for doing open house and cleaning shifts to, it's cool for me. I get to spend time with the cats. I enjoy that. It's also good for the organization and the cats themselves and, the public that come in. And we've been adopting out a lot of cats, which is really awesome. And I've been doing a good bit of writing in Substack as well and working with clients, doing, all the stuff that I normally do. Video production, you might have seen, I've produced a whole series of videos, not all of which have been released yet, on Jorge Luis Borges, the great Argentinian speculative fiction writer and essayist. And that's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy talking about Borges and analyzing those stories. I might do more of those down the line because I didn't get to every single story. We had 2 videos from Classic Metal Class, one from last month and then one from this month released in the channel. I also released 2 Sadler Stories videos, one of which had a prop. You might have seen it about the boom bass instrument. And I also released a guest lecture that I did in Rob Coulter's Heavy Metal and Philosophy summer class. And that was kind of cool as well. And we released one Wisdom for Life show doing more analysis of AITA. That's Am I the A-Hole posts. So that was good. And that's kind of fun to do those as sort of ethical case studies. Why are people right, wrong, somewhere in between? Who is the a-hole, if there is any? Sometimes everybody is. So that was video production and podcast. I released a number and produced a number of podcast episodes on book 1 of Cicero's On the Nature of the Gods. Then we had some on David Hume's Inquiry Concerning Human Understanding, and we finished out the entire set of, I want to say, 26 or 28 podcast episodes on that. And then Ursula K. Le Guin's short story. We did 5 podcast episodes on The Finder, which is a really cool story. It gives you some of the backstory of the Isle of Roke and how Earthsea used to be and how magic used to be practiced and was developed. So pretty important. It's found in the 5th Earthsea book. And that's basically it for August. I didn't get to everything that I intended to do, but very often that's the case, and I'll just blame it on moving. We don't have too many events coming up in September, in part because I'm going to be so busy with teaching a full load of classes and also moving again for the first time in 9 years. So, I will be doing my AMA, that's Ask Me Anything. That will be on Saturday the 7th at noon, normal time. If you want to drop in and ask me questions about philosophy, about life, about music, about other things, I'm game for that. And we're going to be trying out a new platform for that. So we'll see how well that works. We're switching over to StreamYard, which should theoretically stream to video properly in YouTube, but also in like LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter and other places. So we might get even more participation that way. I'm going to do a dry run before we do the AMA though. Also on the 7th at 2 p.m., we'll have our philosophy chat, which is a perk for Patreon supporters. So, if you're interested in that, you just check out my Patreon and you'll find it there. Then another big thing that we got coming up this month in classic metal class. So Scott is actually friends with a pretty famous musician from a pretty famous band that some people consider to be heavy metal, Blue Oyster Cult. We are going to be doing an interview with Buck Dharma, one of the original members, guitarist, vocalist, band leader. And we're going to talk about the 1970s, 1980s, the nature of heavy metal. Is Blue Oyster Cult actually the thinking man's metal, as it's often called, or is it metal adjacent, hard rock, something quite different? So that should be a really fun interview. We don't quite have it scheduled yet, so it's either going to be on the 14th or on the 21st. Both of those are Saturdays, but it will be at noon Central Time. You'll see announcements about it. And so if you want to tune into that should be a really interesting conversation. And then on the 28th, we'll get to the event that we didn't do this last month, Understanding Anger 2.0, the session where we'll be looking at Seneca's On Anger Book 2. So we've got that coming up. I've got all my classes. We have this massive move that we're doing as well. And so that's going to keep me pretty busy. I also have quite a few clients that I'm working with, some on a weekly basis, some bi-weekly, all sorts of different things that we're looking at and discussing. And I'll probably also still be doing a good bit of volunteering at Almost Home. I'll be there this week, so you'll see some more photos of cats and kittens and maybe some videos as well. So all of that is going to be going on. And then video production. So this is the last month that you're going to see videos produced from here. So I'm not quite sure, what the new office is going to look like exactly, what configuration we're going to have. But things will be different. So that chalkboard is coming with us. Bookshelves and books are coming with us. The tripod for the camera and all that. The computer that I'm using for editing will all come with us as well. But it'll be a bit different. So I'll be doing a number of core concept videos. I've already shot a whole sequence on Karl Popper's Towards a Rational Theory of Tradition. I've got a client who I'm working on Popper with, and I thought this is a really cool piece, so I thought I would do something on that. We're also going to be doing something in the philosophy of religion on what's called the university discussion, which had to do with falsification of religious statements. And this involved Flew and Hare, Mitchell, Crombie. It also touched on John Wisdom's, you could call it short article, Gods. So I might be doing some stuff on that as well. And then, I promised Seneca's On Tranquility. I'm hoping to get to that this month. I'll also be doing some of the long overdue book reviews that I haven't gotten to. I'll do some more Sadler stories. There's some storytelling things I'd like to get into. And we'll also be doing some quick takes. I've got a few things along those lines to talk about. I might shoot something about Almost Home as well. We'll see if I have the time for it. And I'm going to be doing another kind of video that I haven't done for a while. So this whole year, I've taught a number of different online classes in my Study with Sadler Academy. And I record the class sessions. So I get asked a lot of good questions, and I do a lot of, lecturing and discussion with the people involved. And I think I will be I'll take some good excerpts from those and bundle them together into videos, starting with the class that I did on ancient philosophers on friendship. I think people will find that interesting. Or maybe I'll start with the stuff on Stoicism and the cardinal virtues. I don't know. I haven't quite decided yet. It won't be from the Descartes class that I just finished up or the Nietzsche class that I'm doing, but it'll be one of those other two. And then for the podcast, we've got a lot more Ursula K. Le Guin stuff to do. That's partly for my classes. They need them as resources, but you might be interested in them as well. And so we're going to do more from Tales from Earthsea. And if we have the time, we'll get into the final book, which is The Other Wind. And I also have some Kant groundwork for the Metaphysics of Morals episodes that I didn't turn into podcast episodes. So I want to do that to finish out that series as well. So that's what we've got going on in September. As you can tell, I'm going to be pretty busy. A lot of physical work as well as mental work. Moving is tougher when you're in your 50s than when you're in your 20s. But you know, it's going to be good, and I'm looking forward to being in the new place, out of our home here that we've been in for 9 years, and it'll be a change, but maybe you'll enjoy seeing the new scenery as well. Maybe we'll do a tour. I don't know, a video tour, either in September or October of, you know, the apartment or the surrounding area or the office or something along those lines. So that's it from me for this month. I hope you can make it to some of these online events, and, you know, hope you have a great month ahead. I know it's going to be a busy one for me. Those of you who are in school, you're just getting started with the new semester. I hope it goes well for you, and I will see you down the line.